as a really important stakeholder of theirs strategically. And then if we can find a way to survey the players and get the voices of a wide variety of player segments, then they will want to listen to us and take action. So that's sort of a high level vision of what we're doing here. And we have had a couple meetings to get to this point. We made some decisions. Like one decision was to have the council be 7 people. We made it an odd number intentionally so that if there's a vote, it would be an odd number that won't have a tie. We initially said it would be, I think, 6 months, but we decided to change that because of all the overwhelming interest that we've experienced in the last couple of days about the council. So some of that was just our mistakes we made, but also the technology with Discord, and also just people for some reason now just paying a lot more attention. So there's a huge lot of interest right now, and this is kind of where we're at. There's more to it, but I just want to sort of speak those first words because I was asked to sort of take on the role of chairman. We also, Snatch Face will be the role of secretary. He's recording the call. One of our values that we talked about is transparency. We agreed that every meeting will be recorded and we'll take minutes and share those with everybody. We want to be inclusive and transparent. And I think it'd be helpful for each of the original 7 who are here to speak, maybe give it like a 3-minute introduction of who you are so people know. And then we'll give a chance to the other people who've been nominated to speak as well so we can get to know the new folks. So who would like to speak first?
I'll jump in real quick. So this is UV, KJC Builder in game. This concept basically stemmed from a need for multiple reasons. There's been a breakdown in communication basically my entire time that I've been in Upland, which since early February. There's major game breaking issues that occur in many different ways that basically just kind of don't get prioritized by the team like they are a priority to the community. And all we birthed out of that, a handful of us came together and decided to try and create something that was as open and transparent as possible and inclusive as possible to try and get a sense of what really is affecting the community at large and try and create a professional link of communication directly to the Upland team to try and get ourselves heard. So it's been a real struggle as it wasn't so much a struggle to get this put together as much as it's been a struggle to get the word out there about this. There's crazy amount of moderation going on the Upland server, and a lot would say it's on the over moderation side, and because of that, I mean, we've been trying to share this for over 6 weeks now, and until yesterday there was about 50 people, and thankfully we're up to over 250 now, which is amazing. But that being said, that's kind of how my involvement got started with this. It was a handful of people that saw there were some things affecting the community and we weren't getting heard. So we got together and decided to figure out a way to fix that.
And also, thank you, UV. Could you also just give like a 2-minute introduction to yourself, like who you are, your background, and have each person?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, my name's UV, KJC Builder in game. I started with Upland like February 6th, and I've kind of just taken off from there. I'm involved in a handful of different communities, with one of the primary ones being the Board Uplander Club. And yeah, man, I've been in crypto since 2015, and I've seen a lot of great ideas come and go in that time. And I'm here to offer any experience I have, whether it's on the council or from a community member's perspective, to try and move Upland forward as a whole.
Sweet. And then maybe we'll have each person call on the next person.
Yeah. I think Mossy, or let's go with Cam next. He was probably one of the early guys that helped kick this thing off the ground.
Hey, Cam DeCruz, in-game name Wombo TM. Um, yeah, just here to really try to help the game along. We all know that there's issues within the community, within the game, and we just want it to work more smoothly. And I feel like sometimes there's no cohesiveness as far as like what the players feel like we need versus what the game is trying to develop, or the whys as to why the game feels like it needs to go a completely different direction than what they had initially set forth or what their players are expecting. And I think that we can better understanding and hopefully better the team's understanding of where players are at through something like this.
You call someone, Cam?
Let's see. I think Mossy, if you're here.
Hey everyone, Jake Moss. I go by Mossy Jake in the game. Been my gamer tag since '96. I'm an avid video gamer, technologist, as well as friend. I like to be friend with everybody. There's not enough time in each life to be mad at everything, so I like to really see the good in each day. Try to find the silver lining no matter what. It's very difficult, and I definitely have down days, but to stay positive helps. If you don't know me, I'm creator of MetaMap server and Discord bots, as well as the Epic Spark Exchange. I like to dedicate my time to the space. Honestly, it started as I don't know why, because I loved the game, and then it just developed because it just feels so good and it feels right. Being here and progressing, I know that as an avid video gamer, I know that the metaverse and digital space will be forever ingrained in the way humanity exists as a whole. And I think that our digital footprint will be very important in the way that our children are raised. So the actions that we take today are going to affect the way that they're raised and their children's are raised and stuff like that. Your digital footprint will last forever. That being said, I think it's really important that we set up some type of structure before big conglomerations can come in and start taking it the way they want to with their master plan. I fight for the underdog 24/7. And anytime you guys need, you can always reach me out in DMs. I'm open and I'm pretty active in Discord. I'm going to call out. Please remind me. I think I have a list here.
You got Blue Rain, the Goldsmith.
Yep.
You got
Blue, if you're with us. Blue, I'd like to call you.
just so everyone knows, these are these 7 originals.
I'm here right now, but I'm actually bringing my right now, so I can't pick up the phone.
Thanks for the heads up. We'll let you talk in a little while. Smith, are you here? Love to introduce
Marginally.
yourself.
Yeah, marginally. I'm in between 10 other things right now. I'm the goldsmith in game. I'm the goldsmith in Discord. I guess that happens to work out that way. I guess I'm involved a little bit in Upland Media, a little bit in the backside of development here with a couple things that hopefully we'll be moving forward here. See a lot of potential future for the game and where it's set up. Looking forward to the layer 2 that's coming, and essentially the layer 2 is where our social is going to start to really exist inside the game. And again, that's kind of where my focus is right now is how our players going to be able to get into that space. Get into that space that ultimately Upland is not going to control, but is going to be tied between all these separate Upland spaces.
Thank you. Can you call somebody?
Who do I have to call on?
Who's here?
I don't know who else is to be called on. I would love to call on Droopy because I haven't heard his voice in a very long time, and he's been talking about this for as long as anybody.
Well, let's go with the people who've been nominated now. I think that is the original.
Oh, I don't know what the nomination list is. To be honest with you, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
So
Straight
there
up,
is actually a
was one.
nomination page up at the top under public channels, UMPC nominees. Those are all the nominees that have been selected.
So can you tell us who the other people are? So
Do you want to just, as we complete people, you want to call up the next gamer, please?
Yeah, I can. Musaida.
I don't think he's here.
Definitely, if you can, try and make sure that they're here. I don't think Musid is here currently.
No, he's not here.
Cam, he already went.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Hello, everybody. I am Straight Up in Discord. Cody Estates in game. I love to help players. I love to help everybody do what they love to do. As far as this channel goes, I would like to see it be a very sharp dart, fast, direct to the community, and refined by the members here that take the vote so that when they see it, they say, well, this comes from them, that we're important, right? So, other than fixing things, I hope it turns out to be a very friendly place. Next, I would like to call, let's see, who's in here? Fancy, you want to tell us about what you want to do?
So should we go into the nominations? Is that the original?
I think we're just going down the list of the nominations
Okay.
right now that are in attendance.
I didn't know that.
Zero.
Is he
I don't
here?
know. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Is SAU available to chat for a sec?
I don't see him.
He's here, but he's probably busy. He's JR
guys.
Wheels.
Hey
Oh, there
guys,
he is.
I'm
There's
here.
SA.
Yo man, sorry, it's a little moist, humid where I'm at, so I hit the button. But yeah, I'm SA in Discord and Acero in game. I've been here for quite a while, and I was just invited to the server, so I'm not really sure exactly what the goal is. I think I got a little bit of a sense of it. But yeah, I think the communication towards the developers, I think, is probably my primary concern. I'm a believer in money talks, bullshit walks. So I do think that I've heard a few of you guys talk about something similar, where the information has to be conveyed in a very constructive way for them to listen. Not conveyed effectively is because I do get concerned that people vote with the reasons why
Losing you a little bit, SA.
is how they're so that's what they're looking at, and so I just want to make sure that any information that needs to be conveyed. Can you hear me better? Is it the same?
Try one more time.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys
Yeah,
hear me all right?
You're still breaking up just a little bit, man.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, I think we caught most of that, SA.
Sorry about that.
Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Next on the list, we have JR Wheels, if he's here. Nope. Next would be Dirty D then.
Hi, so I have a lot of nicknames. You can't pick and choose them. Dirty D, Dr. TID, Doc Tid. But in game, my name is Ifily, and I've been in the game since April last year. Really cut my teeth learning from Oakland and Bakersfield. Helped tons of new players mint out Tyner Homes in Bakersfield, 70% FSA. So I know the struggles and the challenges of new player adoption and such. Since then, I've grown and expanded into Upland Travel and network of terminals for player run, and I'm getting quite involved in the racing side of things. And I believe that this is a very great forum. It's been tried before. The interest hadn't been this strong in the past, and there was a lot of conflicts. I see this as a very safe place where every level of player will be heard and be able to filter down to the top level priorities as a group, whatever that representation may be. So I'm excited. There's a lot of great insight that's only going to grow, and it's super positive. I'm stoked on Upland, you guys. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next, we have JJ Jidisu. JJ, you with us? I see you in here.
JJ, wake up.
JJ's never for lack of words, so it's a rare moment. Teasing you, teasing.
I'm sure he's here. We'll come back around to JJ. Next on the list, we have Abstract.
And some people are not near the microphone.
No worries.
Good to see you, Dirty D.
Thanks, Straight Up. It's been a minute. I'm really excited about everybody here. I whether or not I'm involved at the council level or just my input, it's really going to be exciting. And not to mention, I mean, there's a lot of really smart people and at all levels, and they are passionate about what they believe in. So that's going to bring so much value if the seat at the table with Upland can occur.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next, we have, it looks like Abstract is unable to get to a mic right now. I see him in text chat. So if anyone had any questions for Abstract, or if Abstract wanted to type out a little introduction, one of us would be happy to read it. But next on the list would be Loyal Doyle, which I don't see, and then following is XP Gamer.
Hello, so I am XP Gamer. I currently run a Discord channel for FSA players. We are over 100 members in our server. We're always looking for new members, but we're trying to help out anyone that's new, old, just to get them on their feet if they have questions or whatnot. But yeah, no. Looking at the committee and what the goal of this group is going to be, I think having all of us together, coming together and discussing issues and trying to resolve some things is definitely going to be better for everyone and for our game experience. I'm dedicated to give my time to the committee to help out and do everything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what the committee is going to bring and what players are willing to bring to the table to help each other out.
Thank you, XP Gamer. I had missed adding a privilege for JJ to be able to talk. I believe JJ is good now. Are you available, JJ?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, my in-game name and Discord name is JDS. Most people call me JJ because that name is particularly hard to pronounce for a lot of people. So my main focus is basically proper and effective communication, as well as finding reasonable, effective solutions. That's mainly what I focus on in most things when it comes to in life. I want to make sure that both the players and the council members are able to effectively get their points across and be effectively understood. And that at the end of the day, a solution which is overall good and useful is implemented. And honestly, that's mainly my philosophy for pretty much anything that quote unquote comes by my desk. Is to handle it with that sort of philosophy, to make sure that as many proper frameworks that need to be assessed are assessed, and that the ultimately good solution is at the very least considered. That's really all I have to say. I've been here for almost a year on the day. In 3 days, July 4th will be my 1-year anniversary of playing Upland. We've all come a long way, and we're all certainly going to go a long way from this point. And I'm certainly not going anywhere anytime soon. and I have plenty of free time to help out where I can and where I'll be most effective and useful. Pass it off to whoever's next. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, JJ. Next on the list we have Sergeant Loco.
Hey everybody, this is Sergeant Loco, founder of Latinos Unidos as well as Latinos Unidos Motor Club. Create the server, to help the Spanish people in regards to, learning, and so they don't feel like things can get lost in translation and so forth. Because sometimes by fear, they decide, they don't want to continue because they might not understand. So that was my main goal, just to create a channel to help them out. My main goal for this one, it will be the voice for them to be able to, to convey what they need and, create an environment that they feel comfortable with what they do and knowing that, you got somebody over there that, they got their backs and like I said, nothing is going to get lost in translation. Once again, I'm available for whatever you guys need. And once again, it's a great game. It's a lot of things that, that can be improved, but we know that. But that's my main goal, just to be their voice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sergeant.
All right.
Next would be Radished. Radished, you available? Great to see you here.
I am. Hello. Hi everybody. I'm Radished. I have been playing Upland since around April of last year, I'd say. And of course, I set up the Uplands Analysis YouTube channel probably about October, November of that same year, which is all about kind of strategy, news on all things Upland. I love the mission statement of this group and your purpose, because I'm all about, meeting new players and engaging with the community. I know that I saw some of you in Las Vegas, so I'm looking forward to seeing this group grow and definitely covering the activities on the channel. I'm also the sole admin of the Upland Fans subreddit. So that was set up when the official Upland subreddit wasn't actually available for posting. It's completely locked. And I thought, that's no good. We need a place to discuss Upland outside of Discord. So I've got a long history of providing services and, places for people to engage with the community for Upland. So whether I end up being voted on the council or not, I'm a big fan of what you're doing here. And I'll definitely be sticking around and engaging with this community. So glad to be here.
Awesome, Radished. Thank you so much for your time. Next, we got J-Man Sui. Let's see. You here, J-Man? Doesn't look like it. Next would be TXAG. You available?
Yes, good afternoon. So my in-game name is Texas Trader, TexAg. I have no problem letting everybody know my name is Bradley King. I'm a business executive here in the Houston area. Started in the game back in December. Tried to give a ton of feedback in the past to the executive team at Upland. I have a research background, doctorate in business administration, and so I look at everything from an analytical and a financial perspective. So really, I kind of just jumped on the council to hope that potentially that my analytics background and my finance background would lend some sort of support when trying to talk to Upland. I'm convinced that at the end of the day, they look at dollars and cents and what benefits them. And when we present things to them, it has to make sense financially from a perspective that they can understand that benefits them. And so that's why I jumped on, hoping that my background, my experience could lend some support in that area.
Excellent.
I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate you introducing yourself. Next on the list, we have the Crypto Jedi. Hopefully you're able to speak. I gave you the role a little late. If you have trouble, just leave the channel, rejoin, and you're good to go.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's the Crypto Jedi. I started back in January 2021. I'm one of 10 of the outdoor decor um, beta testers. So I'll have one of the decor Metaventures here soon. Um, I'm quite connected to a many of groups, and I'm in a managerial position for quite a few. I really kind of work in the background of a lot of things, not really an active role, but more with oversight and kind of um, keeping my finger on the pulse and the tune of the atmosphere of a lot of different groups. I have quite a bit of experience with regards to systems creation and project management as well as coordination for many, many of years since 2013. Instead of going to school or things of that nature, I just went straight into the corporate world and worked myself up from the bottom up to opening up multiple offices in Seattle, LA, and multiple regions. So I have a lot of organizational skills, a lot of executive ability, as well as I've spent many of months in meditation, living in meditation centers, and almost traveling the world to teach meditation. So I'm quite conscious of uh, energy, tones, and I've always had a very high EQ, emotional quotient, and I am really well at mediating and also speaking on behalf of multiple and various different groups, cultures, and things of that nature. I feel that I have quite a bit to offer in many of different aspects, domains, and like with my business, it's going to be called Show What Matters, where the emphasis is really highlighting and empowering every individual that wants to collaborate in Upland. And so I want to highlight every individual. So I'll be working from the individual up, where here we'll be working from the group down. We'll be working as a group to empower the individual. I'll be working with the individual to empower the group with my business. So I think there's a lot of correlation with me with regards to that. And I guess that's kind of a brief little summary of what I can. Or also, I have quite a bit of experience also navigating the American legal system with self-representing and studying motions and procedures and legalese, and which is quite a maze to navigate through. And so, but it is very organized and has a lot of facets in place to what am I trying to say? Sorry, I lost the words at the moment. But it's just it's a very difficult system to navigate, which I believe creating a system that will be successful and be able to achieve what the mission is also going to be difficult. So I think that those correlate as well. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for hearing. Let me speak.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crypto Jedi. I see we have Think Me Later in here. He's on the list. Think Me Later, you available?
Yeah. I didn't know I was on the list.
Yeah, man,
So,
you're on the list of the nominations here, and so what we're doing right now is just kind of introducing ourselves as nominees, and just talking a little bit about our background within Upland, and yeah, we'll be available to answer any questions you have about how this works for sure.
yeah. Well, I guess I'd like to thank the Academy. I don't know what this is. This is a large group of people. Somebody just pinged me like, you're on this list? And I was like, I know I joined that group, but I didn't really. Anyway, thank me later. I reckon you probably shouldn't vote for me because I didn't even know what was happening. So I'd probably vote for one of these other people who seem very vested in making this go forward. I've been in the community for a long time. I've done numerous projects and continue and to do numerous projects with some big things coming. So yeah, you can vote for me, I guess, but I wouldn't. I'd vote for one of these other people.
Awesome. Thank me later to the definition of humble right there, folks, and appreciate you, man. I'm gonna read off Abstract. He's here. He or she, they are in voice here with us, and typed out something in the text chat. So excuse my ugly voice for a second. Abstract's been involved with Upland since very shortly after the Brooklyn release, early 2021. Abstract has an in-depth knowledge of the game as well as how blockchain tech works and is implemented. They run the Venice group server and are spread out amongst many other communities within Upland. They are currently banned from the main Upland server for standing up and speaking for those that have been afraid to do the same. Hopefully, this is lifted before too long. My team, Upland Realty, was a hackathon finalist, and being a developer for Upland projects broadens my outlook on what is actually possible being far-fetched. I have deep ties within the Upland community, as well as have had the opportunity to meet and make connections with all sorts of Upland team members from CMs, HR, head of operations, and even EDON. I feel like we need to try and push in the past the first barrier wall of Discord and get solid connections on the inside if we want to make positive changes for the gaming community. And that was excellent. Thank you so much, Abstract, for that introduction and summary of yourself. We may have had a few other nominations. If you see yourself or know that you're nominated and haven't spoken yet, you came in late, please speak up now before we move on to the next stage of the meeting.
And if you don't have access to speak because the roles are restricted right now, please message me and I'll give you access.
And Mia is XP Gamer.
Yes, sorry.
And Blue Rain, it sounds like you're available now, please.
Yeah, really quickly before the doctor comes in. I will agree with Nathan later. I actually feel like I would vote for so many other people besides myself. But why I'm interested is I want to be a voice for the new players. I myself have only been in the game 6 months, 7 months-ish, since January 9th of this year. And I do feel that it would benefit the council to have the voice of someone who is newer combined with the voices of those who have been here for a while. Especially because I think even as I go, I forget some of those challenges that I experienced right off. But I do see, like, as I help my friends join this game, that there's a need for people to really consider how hard it is, just with the mechanics of getting into Discord, understanding some things or getting help even, that I don't think maybe people who are playing a while are thinking about these days. So that's one reason I want to be involved. But I'm really just passionate about the plan. So whenever I see ways to get involved further, I just dive right in. But I think people here, like, there's just so much experience and a wealth of intelligence and ambition, and also just like passion for the game. Anybody who gets voted for, I'm just so excited. Go with whoever you feel like. I do feel like new players do need some representation. Thanks, guys.
And also, Blue Rain is an influencer. She's got a YouTube channel that promotes Upland.
Yeah, thank you so much, Blue Rain, and you're absolutely right. When there was, 6 of us dreaming of this, coming into fruition, one of the first things we talked about was the absolute need to have someone from, every different part of the community, every different walk of quote unquote life through Upland, right? From the new players to the medium accounts to the entrepreneurs to this and that. So absolutely, and we appreciate you being here. You're just as qualified as anyone else to be a part of this. Anyone else that is nominated that was missed and wants to introduce themselves before we move on?
I take it back. Vote for me. Thank me later.
Awesome.
I
So
want to jump in real quick. Want to ask one
yeah, go,
question? Is this? Are we talking about maybe like why we want the position or anything like that, or why we are thankful that we got nominated, or what we expect of the role yet, or is that just more of an introduction?
well,
That was just an introduction.
yeah,
pretty
we're
much.
just introducing ourselves, and in the next stage, I just wanted to explain. Basically, in the previous meeting, which we didn't even call the first meeting for a reason, this is the first meeting. There was a couple things we had established just to create some kind of bare bones structure to get this thing moving forward. There was basically 4 points that were voted on at the time, and one of them was the meeting schedules, which were established on the 1st and the 15th of the month.
For the month of July, at least, right?
I think that's what we were going to do, like just moving forward, unless there was some kind of holiday or something that prevented the majority of people from being able to attend, at least as an interim starter schedule to create some kind of structure. So yeah, it was 1st and the 15th, and then the time was decided at 4 p.m. Eastern time. One of the other things that was voted on at the time publicly was the terms. To have terms, number one, for the seats, and and to determine the length, which at the time we decided was 6 months. Let's see, what else was voted on, Snatch, at the time?
The number of council members.
Correct. Yeah. So we decided to have 7 council members. We chose an odd number in particular, so that there was a always a deciding vote. Well, there would never be an even deadlock on any issue, because that just is inefficient. And at the time, when there were 6 of us, I mean, even filling 7 spots seemed like a true task, because we were really trying to get the word out about this, and we're being suppressed. And the last thing that was decided on was basically when we were going to vote and elect those 7 positions. At the time, we had decided that today was the day that we were going to actually end the nominations, as well as tally votes, and actually seat the first generation of council. But we did have a large exponential influx of players in the last 24 hours. There was many hours of discussion, both in voice as well as in the text chat, that was heard loud and clear. And the overwhelming majority seemed to think we should at minimum freeze the nominations, and then give an extra a period of time to give more people time to vote on who they wanted to actually be on this first seat. So earlier this morning, I did a tag everyone, try to get the word out in as many spots as possible. I basically extended a proposal to freeze the nominations per the original schedule, but to actually give a 7-day period to create a new channel where all the nominations would be, number one, posted in a clear read-only fashion where people can react and vote, but also we'll post the nominations, we'll post the text for the reason why they were nominated, but we're also going to give each nominee the opportunity to write a little summary about why they should be on the council, and if they choose to, and that can be included underneath your nomination on that channel. That channel exists here right now. It's called UMPC Nominees, and it's actually open for viewing for all. So that being said, Snatchface is the secretary of the council. He's not one of the nominees, so he's the outside person with experience able to manage things like this, and he's been charged with managing this. So if you're a nominee, please contact Snatchface with your decision to accept the nomination, and any platform or text you'd like included along with your nomination, where it's going to be voted for. Um,
And then when does that voting end, UV?
we're going to conclude voting. So we're going to have a meeting 7 days from today, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC, 7 days from today. We're going to conclude voting 2 hours before the meeting to allow a time to tally all the votes and actually not only tally them, but also contact the winners essentially and give them time to get back. We're good in the meeting that's going to be held that day.
Thank you. And I just want to say how impressed I am hearing everyone's backgrounds. We have quite an amazing array of people here, right? So I'm feeling
Yeah, I'd
really
love to jump in on that if you don't mind in a second.
Definitely.
Yeah, just one thing to think about when you are voting. This isn't a competition. I know not Snatch. I know UV. You said winning, and you kind of like pulled back in a way about it because it's not winning. The goal of this is to be like straight up said a dart. I mean, we are going to be strict. We're going to be hard asses getting this stuff together and presenting it well written. Kind of like one of the new players had jumped in and said that you got to present it in a way that they're ready to take it.
Exactly.
So when you're considering voting, don't vote your best friend or someone you're in business with because it's just not going to work out. Vote for someone that you think has the stern disability to speak their mind, maybe has organizational skills, and also is widely diverse. So at least for me, I know with my votes, I'm going to be as diverse as possible so that I can get all touches of life. That's just one thing I wanted to leave my note.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that point, Mossy, because you're absolutely right. Like this isn't a winning a popularity contest. You're not winning, really anything. You're not winning power. Even you're gaining responsibility. Is really all that you're gaining, and your responsibility at that point is to the community. So at the end of the day, this is a serious thing. It's a commitment. Nobody is getting paid. This is a nonprofit. There's not going to be a place for shilling businesses, and that's not going to be at the forefront of our mind because that's not what this is for. So just absolutely, like Jake said, keep that in mind with your voting, and let's truly try to choose 7 people that are really going to do a good job of driving the issue at the forefront of the community's mind forward and getting our voices heard.
Yeah, and to riff on what you guys both said, I think we also want people who have got high EQ, who are very collaborative in nature. Also, we want to have diversity, right? Like to have some women involved and people from other countries, different ages. So those are things to consider as well. But I think you're right. If we think of this as a popularity contest, then we probably will fail. And I don't plan to fail, so.
I would like to add, though it's very serious with regards to our intention, I do think we can still, have fun while doing it and keep the atmosphere still quite light with regards to, going about it. I don't think it has to be like some like we all need to have wigs on and hear ye type thing. I think as long as we mean business with regards to our invested time in these type of meetings, there's no reason why we can't have a laugh and stuff like that. Like I think that does bring value also, because that will definitely increase participation and listening. It's almost like we can have it like C-SPAN, where none of the people really watch it. That's just really people involved in politics and lawyers and things of that nature. Or we can have it to where it's people want to engage and want to kind of get involved so we can make this thing actually something. Because I don't believe until we really have the numbers does that really show we represent the people kind of. And there's certain people that are in position, like with the business decor, like Dank Relator and myself. Sometimes will come in contact with Edon or people that are directly in Upland. So those are quite valuable resources to have. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of add that little bit. Thank you.
I agree. The point is keep it light and fun, as
For
well as
sure.
be professional, be on time and on time, and do what we say we're going to do. Like if we make a commitment, let's follow through with it and support each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to reserve 30 minutes at the end, no matter what, to open it up to everyone to ask pointed questions to anyone that's here. Real quick, Dice, do we have anything else we need to cover on the agenda before we start moving to that?
I mean, I'll just take a second to introduce myself. I didn't do that in the
Oh,
beginning.
thank you.
I just wanted to sort of start the meeting. For me, my background comes in leadership. I've been doing leadership coaching and training for 20 years, last 8 or 9 years in Japan. I'm more and more been doing more like teams, working with teams, because I do leadership coaching. Almost each one of my clients would have a team direct reports. So I got trained as we call them systemic team coach. And so this is something that's my passion. It feels like my life work, and it didn't hit me right away when I joined Upland how I could combine my work with what's going on here. But what excites me about Upland is a lot of things. But I'm really feeling like it's this white space where we can, with gamification and experimentation, we can try new things in the community in the game, which then maybe we can come back to the real world and maybe sort of recreate democracy. Because I feel like it's needed in the world today. So that's kind of my high level thing why I'm passionate about this. And like what's already been said, it's not about me. It's not about the individual. I hold that as a stand. And I think if we all stand for something and focus on our way of being, we're going to create that kind of atmosphere that you were talking about the lightness of being. But it should also be fun. But it's not about the individual, right? So that's kind of my background and where I'm coming from. So thank you for that. And no, I think that's it on the agenda part. I think it's just time to open it up to whoever wants to speak or text.
Yeah, so hey, this is thing like I apologize. I think I came in again. I didn't really have some context, and looking over this, I am curious now, hearing kind of some of the vision of reading more of the channels, because as somebody who does actually regularly meet with numerous members of the Upland team, I am curious, like, what is this in support of the community of like, and then the idea is that you'll bring like, hey, these are the top things. Like, is this something that you've already vetted with Upland? Like, hey, if we form this and we bring this to you, is there a format we can approach to like help highlight? Like, I'm curious, like, or is it just the idea if we get enough power together, they have to listen to us?
Dice, you want to answer that, or otherwise I'd be happy to.
Sure, I actually was, and then I noticed I was muted. Yeah, so we didn't ask permission of them. We just did this on our own initiative. And it's not like they have to listen to us, but it's more like they're going to want to because they're going to see us as a true partner if we do it right. That's the vision.
So, what I mean is the idea like that you'll collect the grievances of the community. I mean, I was trying to look through. I don't think most of the channels are still on, from what I hear. And yeah, that's also what I was thinking. I was like, last time when I joined this very early, there was just a handful of people. It's obviously grown. Congrats to the team on that. You guys have done a good job on that. But like again, I'm curious. I mean, there's already a lot of official ways for people to voice, to vote for items. Is the thought that these items are just not on Upland's agenda, or that that this will highlight it more?
Well, the issue really is that collectively, as a player base, somebody who doesn't have those relationships built with the team member because we haven't been here for 2 years and been an integral part of the community since day one. Overwhelmingly, we're feeling like we're not being heard, and we believe that largely because of the fact that the team aren't players themselves, for their sound reasons. They've basically lost touch with the issues that are at the forefront of the community's mind and affecting the community at large on a regular basis. There's more and more things rolled out when there's a lot of issues with past things that are getting overlooked and now getting out prioritized because the team feels like their agenda is more important. And yes, they have a greater vision and in a plan, but along the way, like there's a lot of, and it's not even super complicated things. It's like very simple things. Like for example, this server, this concept, we tried to share this for months and try and get the word out there to as many people as we could. We were literally pigeonholed into posting it in the community projects and contest channel where it's been for months, many times. But within the last 24 hours, we've had an exponential growth. And the main complaint from all these people is that they're upset that they didn't hear about this sooner so they could be a part of it because it's an interesting concept to them. And it's been frustrating both ways. I hear their frustrations, but everyone that's been here has also been doing everything we can to get the word out there about this. And because of a disconnect between the community managers, the UCN moderators, and that community themselves, we have not been effectively able to get the word out there about this. And like that's a prime issue, a perfect example of a kind of issue that could be very clearly articulately laid out with a solution. And that's the key. We're not just raising problems. We want to address the problem and bring the
Right.
team a solution to fix it.
Could I add something to this?
Go ahead.
Having a group of players which can necessarily choose the route and the way of communicating with the Upland team themselves is a very valuable asset and very valuable thing for the community of Upland to have. Having an actual council to control the way in which the Upland team is contacted and communicated with, and having a team to organize with the Upland team rather than just writing it in a forum and allowing Upland to interpret it however they want or ignore it or just do with it what they will. It's just a valuable line of communication if we could get this off the ground that will open up many, many possibilities and many different ways to communicate with them. As Daisadata said, we want to try and be something of a partner with Upland. And partners are not just a platform where you go and drop feedback. We're actively adapting and figuring out the best way to present issues with our own specialized skill sets and with our own advantages, finding the right people, the right Upland team members, the right ways, the right people to present these to. And I think that's invaluable as far as having communication with Upland.
Yeah, it's
Can I ask oh, go ahead, maybe.
yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm sincere. I like the spirit behind the concept genuinely, but again, I feel like I am curious, like that one particular use case of like, well, we're trying to start this thing and we didn't have a voice in the community. Okay, that's fair. I don't know that that's an Upland issue as much as it is limitations on Discord, and if they allow you to advertise elsewhere. Like even myself, I got pigeonholed there. I mean, I stopped advertising my projects there because of the same thing. But that's more just like a limitations of communications. But again, I would, and I sincerely want to. I mean, anybody who knows about the projects that I work on, and some of you are kind of on the inside of that. Like, I am all about helping the community at large, but unless you actually have commitment from the Upland team, like, I do worry that it would just be like, protest. And if it's not new information, like, that's the thing, is like, I feel like if it's a lot of the same things that's just maybe presented in a certain way.
Well, thank you later. Real quick, just to give you an example, I think you might like on that same
I'd like
on
to
that.
add something also. Once you finish.
Sure. Uh, this existing has actually already made that change on that topic I was talking about. There was a discussion that was actually held for a couple hours in the cafe this morning. With it started with the community, some UCN mods, and then we got Lizette in there. And the cafe rules are actually being revised actively right now, and there is going to be the ability to share Upland related projects um, in the cafe, like in the short future, with some very specific set parameters. But like that, basically, it's been a pain point for months now since the rules were revised and updated in the past, or just started being enforced to the T, whatever it was. There's been a pain point for a couple months now, and because of this existing, we now got that changed. And it didn't take, it was for the most part, there was like almost 50 people in the voice at that time. Besides a couple voices, it was all extremely civil. There was no pitchforks or this or that. Like we effectively communicated this disconnect that happened between the reds, the yellows, and the regular players.
Yeah, no, and that's fair, because I mean, I voiced my concern on that as well. I like that idea, and especially when you talk like managing Discord, I definitely think a group like this and having a single voice of like, well, hey, let's come up, because also when you start talking about solutioning, I'm sure that you go, well, hey, here's some rules. Maybe this is a better way to do it. Running social community, things like that. I definitely think the community managers are open to hearing that. I can tell you, as the owner of the first ever non-official Upland server that launched the same time as the Upland server, we did a lot of essentially the agile work of modifying channels and trying different channel configurations that end up getting adopted by the official mods after they saw what worked in our Discord. And so I very much, can imagine being able to influence Discord specifically. I am curious how that then translates to, say, discontent with the actual game, and how, like, what is that? Because again, the cafe is a great place to engage the mods and the community managers, but what is the plan, or like what is the thought around bringing a bigger message again against maybe in-game things that are bothering the community, and how do you see that being impacted, or is it mostly Discord?
Before we
Can
progress,
I, can I,
what else do you
can
think?
I, can I please say what I've been waiting to say?
Yes, go for it.
All right, thank you. First of all, I don't believe this is about dissension or anything like that. And to me, I think the great power that can come from this is from everyone coming together. If that's really the basis of what this comes about, is for people to come together, be able to have a system to work through where they can hash out things where maybe the Upland team doesn't have the resources or the manpower to really, go to. It's almost like a third party customer support type thing. It could be, but also much more than that. If really the focus is on coming together, trying to provide solutions where problems are pointed out, and doing it not to strong arm anyone, or not to, not like, kind of like how, unions were definitely hijacked and abused, because, absolute power corrupts absolutely. But if things are put in place to keep things in check, to make sure nothing gets out of hand, or there's no one, too much power in one single type thing, this could definitely be something very successful, very great, and very impactful. I think that is, really what this can have to offer, and that's my opinion and what I kind of feel I would like to see from this. But yeah, I just wanted to add that, and thank you.
Thank
to
you.
Jedi's point, basically we are essentially going to be doing the work and figuring out what are the best solutions and presenting it in a way that both benefits Upland and the community. And by doing that, we're just saving them labor and team power.
Can you give an example? So when you're saying solutions, like, are you saying here's how to solve this technical issue you're having, or here's because, like, for instance, okay, the cafe thing. Okay, yeah, we could probably go, hey, well, we thought about this problem and how we can communicate in the cafe. Here's what we do. And keep in mind, yeah, this is the majority. I mean, if I look down this line, this is the majority of the active cafe Discord users. You do have a majority sway when you talk about, that particular communication channel. But when you talk about, the hundreds of thousands of players of Upland, like, if we're talking about how do we solve treasure hunting, how do we fix that issue, how do we fix other things, like, that's, I'm trying to figure out what is the scope of the council.
I have like two very specific examples that like can affect massive amount of people today in Upland. Like number one, I know I could name off probably 5 to 10 people sitting here right now that could help Upland resolve their support emails going into spam. There's a very simple solution for that. The research has already been done. That affects anybody that needs help with the game, and it's a huge pain point that's been going on for months. Many of us have tagged the team in tech bugs. We've reached out personally to try and help them, and we haven't even got a single response, like not even acknowledgement of the fact that it's an issue and we're trying to help. So that's one thing.
Okay,
Another
so
thing,
let's take that UV. Let's take that because that's a great example, right?
okay,
Because, like, that's probably a legitimate, like, hey, we're hearing this a lot in the community, and actually we have tech people, and we've identified there's something you're doing the way that you're sending it, or there's a parameter that you can do into your email client that'll help resolve this. Now, what I just heard was that there are several of you, and I would assume it's yourself and other people that are probably already part of this, that have been doing the normal channels and trying to offer that support. So my question, and I'm not suggesting like, hey, is this we're all going to just jump in the cafe and storm the gates and be like, hey, you need to listen to us. But like, what is the approach then that's going to be different from what's already being done, because it sounds like those activities are already happening and met kind of on what I'm hearing is deaf ears.
Let me see if I can try to answer your question. First of all, I think it's up to the council to decide. So but I imagine what the council might do is approach Upland almost like in a business perspective, like Tex AG was saying. We say, here's the problem. This is what we've identified. We got input from 5,000 people from these countries and these different player segments. They understand the power of currency. They talk a lot about macroeconomics. So we connect it to macroeconomics. What is it built on? Trust. Here's what we're saying is an issue. And so we trust that they're going to, if they decide not to listen to us, that's going to be their choice. But they're going to know that it's like they need to follow up with the things that we talk about. And we want to start with something like what Cam used to say in the beginning, low-hanging fruit. Something really easy they can fix. Cam, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, my favorite, I want them to look good as well in this. I want this to be a success. So I'm not trying to ask, I don't think we should ask for Hail Marys, but anybody who's ever traded a property knows that that's a pain in the ass if you have 500 plus properties. Just damn near impossible. However, we already have in our assets tab a nice, clean property filter that would fix that if you just put that on your trades, when you go to trade a property, it would eliminate that issue. Just apply that over. So just give them, like, start low. And obviously, as we eliminate issues, maybe it's not able to tackle things anymore, and we'll address that when that happens. but I think there's plenty that Upland can fix that we can help point out in the meantime.
I mean, I appreciate that concept. It's just like, for instance, that one, Cam. I was the first player to hit 1,000 properties. I've had that issue for over 2 years now. I talked directly to Dirk and Edon and the development team. I sat at a round table in Vegas that had all CEs that all said the same thing. Like, there's certain things that they just aren't going to change or prioritize, and they have their reasons for it. So I do worry. Like, I mean,
I think I'd like to address that problem.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'd like to address it. So this is Brad, TexAg. I made this comment in the chat earlier, and thanks for bringing it back up a minute ago. Is I agree with you. I think I've had multiple discussions with Dirk. I did it South by Southwest in Austin. Dirk thinks, like me. We're PhD guys, and we think in analytical terms. And so my opinion of how Upland looks at this from that upper leadership perspective is that they're looking at 5 or 10 or 15 CEs sitting in Vegas is a very, very small sample of a huge population. It doesn't even move the needle for them. And I think, I've just recently done some stuff with URL. I tried to kind of keep quiet about it because but I want to bring it up is, doing surveys and getting a big sample base and then being able to do a multivariate analysis that shows them what the impact of one variable is on another variable, what the impact of whatever variable is a problem has an impact on this dependent variable of customer satisfaction, which we're the customer. And if you look at the review, I just looked at the reviews yesterday. It's like 27,000 reviews on Google Play at a 3.4 rating, and it's trying to get an understanding of what are the problems there, running an analysis, and not just throwing a bunch of data at them, but doing it in a format that Dirk understands. I think that's the key, is that he thinks differently. And if you're not going to present something to him that shows him how the needle moves one way based off of it moving in another variable, he's not gonna understand it. I've found that out real early with him, and I think that's the key, in my opinion, is that we should be doing surveys of the upland population and trying to send that out to somebody that does multivariate analysis, to do regressions and do discriminant analysis, do factor analysis, and turn those things around into a format that Dirk understands and can look at the methodology and look at the results and the findings and read the conclusion and say, you know what, I agree with this.
Okay,
and I think that's the key.
I love everything that you just said, more or less. I would disagree a little bit on the CE thing, because those players bring in a lot of business. But that aside, I would say holistically, a voice of, say, 10,000 people, even if that's only 10,000 of 200, or I think we're at 300,000 active. How are you getting, because like, that's great. I can guarantee you, yes, if you had the analysis that said here is 10,000 verified Uplanders, and we did a survey, and they said if they had this feature that they would all spend $50 more on average, or whatever the analysis showed. That's great. How do you get that level of participation? Because they're never going to give you that list of emails and account names.
You make a difference.
Right. It's a high bar. Go ahead and answer. But it's not going to happen day one. It's a process, But go ahead, TJ.
Real quick, I apologize for interrupting. Please, we did have a couple of nominees come in late, and we are coming up on the final minutes of the allotted meeting. I'm sure the discussion will continue for many hours after, but I did want to give these nominees a chance to speak. So we're going to start with Musita. If you can, please introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about your history within Upland.
Player of the year.
Snatch, I'm not seeing Musita here.
Yeah, I don't see him either.
Okay, so Elijah, you're next up, my man.
Don't see him either.
Oh, no, he's at the top. His mic turned green.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's having technical difficulties. He left. He's probably joining back. There he is.
If anybody does have mic issues, one of these nominees, you probably got to roll at it late. Just leave the channel, rejoin, and you should be able to speak.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? Glad to be here. He said, tell me a little bit about my history in Upland. I started in December. I came here by way of looking for the Facebook Metaverse, the whole VR thing. Just over my journey, I've seen we've had different concerns, and we've had similar avenues to voice those concerns, like through the feedback channel and directly to the moderators. And I think this is a good way to collectively aggregate certain issues to Upland. Just from a business standpoint, if you have a business and 100 of your stakeholders, customers, whatever you want to call Uplanders, 100 of your participants ask you to change something, you change that thing immediately. You make that move. So I think this is a good way to carry our opinion or our needs up to a stronger, higher level. Let's say if we want certain functionalities in the layer one instance, or if we want a way for them to bring music bots in the cafe chat for a couple minutes, I don't know, for anything. Just different things that we may want to talk to them about, or if we had issues with the USD, but something so they can see that it impacted a whole bunch of people. If it made its way to the council, then shoot, it's real. So let's have somebody address that. So maybe they'll put somebody in place to specifically address the council. They give you a specific email address, a hotline. So I think I like where it's going. I like its potential. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do here is going to add benefit to our investment. Whether you invested your time or your money, you invested it. So it's an investment. Whether you hit a game or not, you did a whole bunch of flipping and ain't really put no money into the game, but now you got this big account investment, or whether you actually put the money in. So every little thing we do here, I think, is a good approach. You know me, I started building the Real Node LA as a way to create an environment, a atmosphere, because I've always felt like I wanted to have this space in the metaverse to kind of chill, not have to go too far. Just to kind of, if I got to get into my goggles real quick, I can do what I got to do and then get out. So that was the concept, the original concept, and then thinking that, hey, maybe if I want to do different things. So yeah, I created the Real Node LA race course over there called the Ithaca Run, and that's what I've been up to, building that race course up. Trying not to spam in the main channel, but definitely keeping awareness of the node going on by way of contests and things like that. Did I answer that question? Oh, so why would I be a good fit for for hanging out here? I guess if we're answering nominated questions behind that, I'm dedicated to the growth of this space, because I can see it growing in a variety of different ways, and I don't want it to be trampled at its infancy at any stage, because we got to see how this thing can actually flourish. And with hundreds of people behind an Upland project, it could grow. But we have thousands of people, so this thing is going, skyrocket. It just hasn't hit the mainstream yet. Once it does, it does. So yeah, that kind of gives it the answers. Anybody got any questions?
May just ask you a question, and then after that, I would like to leave some time for the last two people to speak, if possible. And then again, we have the public voice channel. It's always open. I do expect a lot of this conversation will move over there for a while.
Yeah, we are supposed to end at 5:30, just to be
May
aware.
just ask you, Elijah, what do you believe will be your greatest contribution to the council?
I think I'd like to bring a sense of goodness. You know what I mean? My name is Elijah. Elijah means Jehovah is my God. I love God, and I'd like to bring a sense of my love for God in that atmosphere. Not to over preach anybody to death or anything like that, but if you do a good job, people enjoy it. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elijah. I really appreciate your introduction and answer the questions, you being here. Next up, we have Big Norm. Are you present, Big Norm?
I actually just joined the group. Yes, I am.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're one of the nominations, to potentially be on the Upland Council. So we're just asking all the nominees to go through and give a little bit of introduction about themselves and your history with Upland, essentially.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Uvi. I appreciate it. So I became part of Upland in December, early December of last year. I received a bunch of messages on the Brave network, and I finally jumped in when I saw the NFL legits. I'm heavy in the collectibles, so I jumped in, and then I actually fell in love with the platform, what they're trying to achieve, their goal, a very lofty goal. We see that it's not hard, it's not easy. Creating something like this decentralized is hard. We're seeing that now, and we're trying to work together to accomplish this. I'm looking at a couple of things with the team, like we have to become organized, guys. If we're going to do this, we have to become organized. And what I mean by that, and I was talking to Elijah a little bit off of, off talking to him personally about. I think the thing we need to do here, and I want to get right to the meat, is create a charter and a mission statement. That's going to guide us. When we create a charter and a mission statement, we can become one. We can understand what our roles is. Stop scope creep, because that can happen. We're all having scope creep. We need to create these things to get us aligned together, so we're one force speaking as one, but we're speaking for all. One of the things I think I bring, and I'm not, to be honest with you, I don't speak a lot. I'm in the cafe a lot. I listen to you guys a lot. I've learned a lot from the cafe. Extremely informative from all of you guys, and I appreciate everything you taught me about the game to accelerate my growth. I think it's other people that's more qualified than me, but I think some of the things I bring from real life can probably help. I happen to run a production. I'm a production manager. I run one of the biggest production. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Right there. So what I do, as far as my product, I run one of the biggest management facilities of what we create in the world. So I have a lot of experience with dealing with people, dealing with actual facilitating products, dealing with the intricacies of bringing a group together, group dynamics, things of that nature. I'm quiet. I like to lead after listening and growing, right? By learning, by listening. You learn a lot by listening more than talking, and I run by that. I just want to be a benefit to the team. Whatever I can do, whatever skill set that I've developed, and I have a lot, to be honest, not to brag, but I'm just being honest, I have a lot that I can bring to the team to help us, whether it's forming a group, forming a plan, working in any aspect of the team dynamic. You got to be able to deal with different dynamics when you're working with a team. I'm willing to do that. I'm still learning. I've got open ears. I want to be something that moves us forward in a positive manner. And what we see together as we sit here all together as a team is not hard. It's not easy to create group dynamics when you have a lot of voices. And we have to, one, form an actual infrastructure to make sure what we're doing is going to be successful. And I think that's the first thing we need to identify. How do we organize our team? How do we organize our voices to speak as one, to weed out? We're going to have some conflict. How do we deal with conflict, in a positive fashion versus just going back and forth? So those are some of the things I just noticed, and I just want to be part of us moving forward as a team, basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Big Norm. I think the last one that's here needs to speak would be J Mansui. Are you available?
I'm here too, guys.
Who is that?
OG Ogun Gear.
Okay, cool. Yep, looks like you're on the list, and J-Man hasn't chimed in, so please go ahead, OG.
Oh, all right, man. All right. What's up, everybody? I'm definitely glad to be here. Glad to have been nominated. I hope it's not too loud. I'm outside, so it might be kind of windy, but I'll make it quick, just in case it is. Um, I got my start in Upland in October of last year. Similar to Big Norm, I was pretty quiet. Just came in, listened to listen to what was going on in the cafe. Originally, I had heard about the cafe, I believe, from one of Loyal Doyle's like earlier videos or something like that. And after that, I kind of just joined the cafe and just came in, dropped in every couple days, and then it became closer to every day. And I kind of fell in love with the dynamic of people coming together and learning how to play a game. When I first got in here, I was pretty like astounded at the fact that it was the first game that I had ever played that people didn't mind helping each other. Essentially we're each other's competition going out there, mint in the city. Um, but it was so many people sharing knowledge, giving information, and I love that. I had never experienced that before in any game or really any competitive space that I've ever seen. So as that speaks to the community that we're here to serve. So it means a lot to me to even be nominated for something like this. And I think it's dope for one. I know Crypto Jedi mentioned some things about like you have to set things in place so for checks and balances so things don't get out of hand one way or the other. And I think that's a big lesson that we can learn, and that's a big thing that we can expound upon with the creation of this council. um Let me see, what would I bring to the count? Oh, what have I done? A director level player. It took me a while to get there. Um, for about half of that time, well, probably a little bit over half, probably about 75%. I was pretty much, I pretty much grinded my way to about 700,000 net worth, which isn't much, but coming from $60, it feels like a lot to me. But with that, I started to develop my strategy even further to bring entrepreneurship into the game, which I also do in real life as well. Um, through Black Bottoms International Raceway out in Detroit, as well as Marathon Motoring Magazine. Not sure how many people have seen that. I've been posting some stuff about the server and different things like that. But those are my two passion projects that I'm working on within the Upland community and ecosystem. And that's what I've been able to offer to the community. Um, as far as what I can offer being on the council, really I don't really have much experience, in real life as far as like from company enterprise level expertise and things like that. I've worked in a lot of warehouses and different stuff like that. So my skills aren't really translatable in that sense. I guess they could be, but we'll talk about that later. But basically, I'm a team player. I play as a team. I'm a role player. I'm pretty good with getting in the area that I fit in, and seeing where I can best help. Um, I do have experience in entrepreneurship, as I mentioned. So anything in that realm, I could definitely speak on like marketing efforts and different things like that that I've noticed that can probably help the team. And other players have also mentioned. So I mean, basically, wherever I can fit in with the council, whenever we have meetings and sit and discuss, what our goals are, and like Big Norm said, what we're coming to do, and setting down the groundwork. I'll be willing to get in where I fit in, and I also, as well as Big Norm and Elijah and possibly a couple of others. I'm not sure because I don't really know all of you guys, but um, if you read my message, I said that it was very important to me and probably to the other players that would share this sentiment. I think it's important to have representation of all communities, but I'm a black man, so I'm especially passionate about the black community and the way that we are also portrayed in real life can really have a bad give people a bad taste of what African Americans can bring um, to everything, to really anything, just like any other race, any other group. And I feel like it's very important for us to have representation, like Musida coming in and representing the Brazilian community. Um, I think it's Sergeant Loco. I'm not sure if I said his name correctly, but I know that somebody by that somewhere along that name mentioned something about representing the Hispanic community, and I just feel like that's a very important dynamic to have when you're representing a community, is to represent all um, aspects of that community. So with
That's
that
good.
being said, that's pretty much what I bring, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Regardless of if I'm, whatever elected, I guess it would be called. Um, I'm definitely glad that this is in place and it's gonna bring a lot of good. So peace out. Appreciate y'all.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
OG.
Olga.
And
Just
we're
UV, I
gonna.
just want to be real quick. Just want to be cognizant of time.
I
We've
know.
gone over two
I'm
minutes,
try-
so
I know. I understand.
yep.
Everybody, we're gonna have to wrap up the official meeting. We're gonna be moving this whole thing over to the public voice chat, where everybody will have the opportunity to chime in and participate. We're going to be locking down the text chat and archiving it here in just a few moments. And just a final reminder: if you're a nominee, please reach out to Snatchface and get some kind of comment or your platform that you're essentially campaigning on added underneath your nomination in the channel. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
And also, just for clarity, that the nominations part is over. Now the voting
Wait, real
starts,
quick, I'm
right?
reading the text chat. Snatch says Mojave didn't get a chance to talk. He's nominee if he's here.
He'll have first opportunity to be the first voice in the public channel. We have to end this at this point.
Fair enough.
All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you, and let's all hop over to the public voice chat so everybody has an opportunity to participate at this point.
Thank you. Good meeting, everyone. Well done.
Sorry, Snatch. Try it, Snatch.
Oh. Like Thanos snapped his finger in here. Oh, there goes the. JJ, I'm not leaving until you leave.
What?
I'm not leaving until you leave.
What do you mean?
Don't.
Oh, I thought I was already in the other channel. Hey, Jedi. Did you ever not get to finish your thing? Did you want to finish your thing in the other channel that you were trying to say?
Right. Then a voice chat right above this room. If you back out, there's another voice chat right above this room. They're closing this one down, but it's literally above this room in the same server.
you.